right, our goal, we're going to be solving multi-step equations involving integers. So no decimals, no fractions, just integers, right? So in our previous lessons, we've solved one-step equations, two-step equations. So now we're on multi-step equations. So let's do a quick review. Do you remember how to solve two-step equations? Solve and then check. What does x equal? All right. Does x equal -1? Does x equal 2? Does x equal 3? Well, whatever it equals, did you check your work? That's really important to do. So I will do that at the end. But so what are we going to do first? We need to get x by itself. What's the first thing you're going to do? Right, if you said add 3 to both sides, that is correct. So if I add 3, okay, we'll cross that out. And then we'll get 2x equals 15 plus 3 is 18. What are you going to do next? All right, we need to get x by itself. So I'm going to get rid of this 2. This is 2 times x as an invisible multiplication sign. So the opposite of multiplying by 2 is dividing by 2. So those 2's cancel out. So then I'm left with x equals 18 divided by 2, which is 9. Okay, so let's check that in the original equation, right? The original equation was 2x minus 3 equals 15. So I'm going to write 2, and instead of x, I'm going to substitute 9 because it says x equals 9. So everywhere I see an x, I can plug 9 in. So that's why I put that right there. And then we got minus 3 equals 15. Let's see if this makes sense. First thing we do is multiplication. 2 times 9, 18. 18 minus 3, that does equal 15. So it does works. Right, takes a couple of seconds just to check it. All right. And notice when we did this, we kind of did, it was the opposite of our orders of operation. Remember, we did orders of operation, multiplication comes before subtraction, but this was opposite. We did addition first and then division. So sometimes that will be a common thing with equations, solving equations, where you do the opposite of the order of operations. All right, final review. Do you remember how to apply the distributive property correctly? Okay, so which of these expressions shows the result of applying the distributive property to -2x times 7 plus 12? All right, well, let's rewrite this. I'm going to write this nice and big. So we got -2x, 7 plus 12. Okay, so remember the distributive property. We distribute whatever's on the outside gets multiplied with everything on the inside. So we see we have -2x times 7. So that's the first thing I'm going to do. I'm going to group that. -2x times 7. And then we're going to multiply -2x by positive 12 plus 12. Okay, we've got to be careful with this. Okay, so I'm going to write this plus sign right there. And then I'm going to have a blue parentheses where I got -2x times 12. All right, so all we need to do is multiply. So -2, now just because they both have x's, just leave the x, okay? Negative, and then you're going to do -2 times 7. Well, that's -14x, okay? And then I got this plus sign, okay? And then I got -2x times 12, kind of what we just did here. The x stays, leave it alone. And then we got -2 times 12. That will give us -24. So we get -24x. Now, I said be careful. When we multiply by the negative, right, notice we have this plus minus there, these two signs. So what we could really do is we could change this, right, when we have a positive and a negative, like that. When we add a negative, we can change that to -14x minus 24x. Okay, so notice, right, it originally was a plus sign, right, between the 7 and 12, but now we've changed it to a subtraction sign. So that's what happens, when we distribute by a negative, right? So the answer would have been choice C. All right, so We're going to be using these things we've reviewed in our next video, where we're going to be solving multi-step equations. I'll see you guys then.